Hey YouTube, my name is Eve the Weave. Like, share, and subscribe. Honey, honey, honey. It is a sad day in America today when you can sit up there and actually say the walls in Breonna's apartment got more justice than she did. If y'all don't know by now, none of those cops are getting locked up at all. So there is mayhem going on in Louisville right now. Cops are shooting, people are shooting at each other, fires everywhere. It's a lot going on out there. But I want to say this because I don't think that everybody understands. I don't think everybody is on one accord. It's a lot of shit tonight that I just don't think. Like I said, my name is Eve the Weave. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome new members and old members. But we in the dark room. And no, I'm not going to sing the theme song because I'm fucking mad, B. I'm mad. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm not mad. I see everything that's going on social media. People are outraged. People are upset. We waited 194 days for nothing. And let me tell you something. Let me just say this. When they gave them that $12 million to the family of Breonna Taylor, y'all should have known then we wasn't going to get no justice. I don't know why y'all don't see that. Because what we did in George Floyd's case and what we did for the Breonna case, I'm talking about as far as the Black Lives Matter, the whole movement in itself, we operated real different when we came to Floyd. And when it got to Breonna, we operated differently. You see how, okay, we watched Floyd die right before our very eyes. Rest in peace to George Floyd and his family. We didn't get to see Breonna Taylor. So now all of a sudden, after the verdict is read, all of a sudden they released a 911 call from her boyfriend. And why did he have to call 911 if cops is the one that shot her? Shouldn't they been calling for 911? We need 911 ASAP. Shouldn't we have been calling? Why should he have to call 911 if 911 is standing there? Okay, yeah, he needed an ambulance. But why the cops couldn't call an ambulance? Why is we hearing his voice? Should have never been able. His voice should have never. He should have never even had to make that call to 911. And then a lot of people were saying, well, you know, they gave them $12 million and they released the boyfriend. He don't got no charges for shooting the other cop. So I guess they feel like that's even. No, it's not fucking even. Let me paint a fucking picture. Because I don't think a lot of y'all are getting it. Because I seen this on social media and somebody was saying, and I was like, what the fuck? What? If a cop, off-duty cop, is in his home with his family, and another set of cops run up in his house not knowing that one, it's his house, and two, he's a cop, and then they shoot, and then he shoot one of them, they call that friendly fire. They call that friendly fire. And that's without nobody being killed in the family's house, in the officer's house. They will call that friendly fire. But let's just say the cops that went in the cop's house shot the wife. Then what is that called? Because it's not friendly no more. And let's just be clear. Shots being fired, bullets being shot at people, period. It's not called friendly fire to me. Because that friendly fire can result in somebody dying. So I don't understand how is that friendly fire. Because it's between two cops. That would be friendly. But what if you was to kill another cop's wife? How friendly is that? When they gave the family the $12 million, that was already a hush money to shut motherfuckers up. The problem with our community is, and I'm talking about the black, the brown, Latino, purple, orange, whatever fucking community. The problem is, we'll take the payout before the cop get locked up. In George Floyd's case, we went to their house and we stood there and we was shouting no justice, no peace. We went to the officers' houses and we stood in front of their fucking houses and let our presence be fucking heard. We went to the precinct and burnt the bitch down. And we got results. We got results. Now, this is the type of result we should have got with the Breonna case. Because I'm not understanding how they can run up in an innocent woman's house that's working through the fucking pandemic, mind you. As an EMS worker, she's working through the fucking pandemic. But yet she gets killed during the pandemic. But her walls got justice? I don't understand how the neighbor. Now all of a sudden they found this one person in the neighborhood, so they say, heard when the cops announced that they was coming in her house. Only this one person. But we don't know the identity of this person, no nothing. You know why we don't know the identity? Because they went and dug that motherfucker up. They needed a little bit of money. Here, stand here and say that you heard us. Even though we all know you ain't heard shit. This shit is sickening. I'm sorry to the family of Breonna Taylor. But I'm going to fucking say this. Once y'all took that fucking money, all bets are off. Because they dangle money in front of us. They kill us in the right hand. But the left hand got some money in it. And this is before the trial. This is before anybody get locked up. This is before this date and every fucking thing. Y'all didn't peep what was going on? Money and a human life is not the same. We as black people need to realize that. Stop taking their blood money. Stop it. And before I get where their blood money is coming from, because I'm about to get into that, I want to read y'all real quick because I wanted to know, did George Floyd people get a payout yet? Because I have not heard of no such payout yet. So I had to Google it because I don't want to come here and talk about nothing without stating motherfucking facts. So this is what I found on Google. Shit is crazy. Shit is crazy. The officer charged, the officer that kneeled on George Floyd's neck, got second degree and third degree and manslaughter charges. The other 3 officers are charged with aiding and abetting, both second degree and manslaughter. All have been fired. They all in jail. They're in jail. They're in jail. They are in jail. They in jail. Meanwhile, because notice how I ain't say nothing about no money yet. I'm going to get to the money in about a minute. Hold on. After the whole George Floyd case, after kneeling on his neck, the medical examiner office ruled it to be a homicide, right? The family settled the case for $3 million. Three. You know why they settled for 3? because all of those cops went to jail. All of those cops got fired. That's why they got $3 million. Meanwhile, in this Breonna case, nobody's going to jail. Nobody. And they gave her family $12 million. This is what I'm saying when I say human life. And I do mean human. Because I'm saying that, I got to put the word human on there. Because they value a dog's life faster than they value a black man or a woman's life. Best to believe that. So that's why I keep gotta say human life. Human life. Human life. And it's sad. This whole case is sad. Okay, I wanted to play a recording about the whole, where all of this money is coming from and all of these different cities, because my thing is, I always wondered, where's all of this money coming from? That was before. Now, is a whole pandemic going on. We had to give out all of those packages, money packages to people, stimulus checks and all of that, right? Then we had to hand out a whole bunch of unemployment, right? And then on top of all of that, we had to get PPE ready for the COVID testing and all of that, right? So they said that we broke and the economy is low and unemployment is low. If everything is low and we don't have no money, where the fuck is this settlement of $12 billion coming from? Where's all of these settlements from these cops murdering people? Where's all this money coming from? Because if our taxes pay the cops, and I know the cops have their own union, but I know damn well they union, that money ain't coming from their goddamn union. So I Googled it, and I wanted to read up on it. So I found this conversation on Google, and it's two men talking about the inner cities and the rebuilding of inner cities after they've been in shambles. It's glittering lights everywhere. Like you go to 42nd Street, and 42nd Street is lit up, and it's looking all pretty. But as soon as you pass 96, it's over. And I don't get that. I don't understand that. Like in New York City, what kills me the most is, and this is off topic a little bit, but it kills me that when we have a snowstorm in New York City, how is it that downtown New York and Manhattan, how is it that they snow gets so cleaned up off the grounds to the point where you don't even think it snowed down that bitch? But as soon as you come across 96th Street and work your way on up to like 149th and 3rd Avenue and you in the Bronx or something like that in that area, our snow is still on the fucking ground. We look like we've been like they took all the snow from downtown and just dumped it right in the Bronx and all these inner cities. But if you go downtown, it's clear like it never fucking snowed. I don't get it. Just like the Department of Sanitation. When the ball drop and they drop all that fucking confetti. The next day, downtown is clean like there's no tomorrow. It's spotless down there. You can't find a drop of confetti. But when you come up here, it's all types of dirt in the inner cities. And I don't want to fucking hear. And it have a lot to do with the inner city people too. Because a lot of y'all don't put y'all garbage in the right spot. It's just a lot of things that I don't like. But let's get back to how they don't rebuild the inner cities and how they don't put money in the inner cities. And yet, they say they don't have no money, but yet they paying for these cops' mistakes. And they're not mistakes. They are blatant murders. They are murders. Let's just call it what it is. These are no longer mistakes. Not when you have a whole taser gun before you get to your gun with the bullets. Not when you have a whole pepper spray and a taser gun before you get to the gun with the bullets. Not all of that. Not when you have a whole baton on your hip. Not that. You don't reach for none of those weapons, but you reach for the gun with the bullets that can kill people. How does that work? I don't get it. So, Let's see where this recording is at, because I wanted to see where all this money was coming from. So let's just get right to it.
Faccio, by one count, there have been protests in nearly 150 cities nationwide amid calls for justice in the killing by police of George Floyd, a black man in Minneapolis. Some of the protests overnight continue to involve destruction of property and looting. We're leading this morning with the costs of policing and the costs of police brutality. Mark Morial is the president and CEO of the National Urban League, the civil rights and urban advocacy organization. He's also the former mayor of New Orleans. Mr. Morial, thank you for connecting.
Thank you for having me.
You know, the anger we've been seeing in streets across the country was sparked by the killing of a man by a policeman. It is a murder case. People want justice. Racial divides play a key role in this issue of police brutality nationally. But what do you think about economic divides?
Well, the economic divide that we face in America underlies many of the other disparities. It underlies health disparities. It underlies housing disparities. It underlies many quality of life disparities that exist in America today. The economic divide, the growing income inequality, the widening of the racial wealth gap. What Americans should understand is that we've gone backwards when it comes to this notion of the American dream being achievable and attainable for all, and this notion that people that work, if they work, can basically make enough money to make ends meet. So the economic divide, and on top of that, we've had a disinvestment in many of America's urban communities. You'll see glittering downtowns next to deteriorating neighborhoods, and the recession of 2008 to 2011 or so really exacerbated that divide. It caused great challenges with respect to housing, great losses of wealth in housing, and those neighborhoods were not reinvested in. They were not, if you will, given a Marshall Plan or TARP or any other sort of sustainability to allow them. And now, to some extent, the bills are coming in, or I might dare say the chickens are coming home to roost.
Now, I saw Keith Ellison quoted the other day, Minnesota's Attorney General and former congressman, and he says he's been feeling like the neighborhoods where he goes running have felt on edge. I mean, before the George Floyd killing, because of the mess that was caused by the pandemic, on top of what you've just been talking about.
So it's a combination of factors. I think Attorney General Ellison is right. Look, the COVID, you've got 40 million plus people out of work. You've got a black unemployment rate at 17, a Latino unemployment rate at 18, a white unemployment rate at 14. You've gone from January 1st of this year, where you had record levels of employment and record low levels of unemployment, and then now, just not even 6 months later, we've got record unemployment, record job losses. On top of that, police brutality and racial violence has come into focus in a clear and in an ugly way. These cases, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, if you will, Ahmaud Arbery. We have videotapes in 2 of the 3. We've got a disturbing 911 call in the 3rd. The evidence has laid bare so much of what we've been talking about for years.
Now, across the country, we invest money in policing to make communities safer. I know you think a lot about additional ways to use money to make communities safer. It's not just policing.
Policing is a component of making a community better, or indeed making a community safer. Quality housing is important. Solid, strong infrastructure, good streets, good parks, good playgrounds, good libraries, good schools, good community centers that are, if you will, operational, that feel good, look good, operate well. That helps to make a neighborhood. Paved streets, if you will, public plantings and trees. All of these make neighborhoods and give neighborhoods quality of life. People who have the opportunity to earn a good living when they work hard all day, that makes for a good neighborhood. And we've seen this steady but slow deterioration. When the economy came back after the recession, it really came back for America's wealthiest, America's well-off citizens. For America's middle class, America's working class, America's poor, they've struggled, they've eked along. Indeed, real income in America has not kept pace with inflation for the last 30 years. That's the fact, and that's the reality that so many Americans faced coming into the pandemic, coming into the virus, and certainly even before the Floyd, Arbery, and Breonna Taylor cases.
Cities pay out a lot of money in these police brutality cases. New York spent, I think it was like $230 million on police misconduct payouts in 2018 alone. Chicago spends a fortune. Small cities as well. I was looking at Long Beach, California, spent $30 million in a recent 5-year period. And I mean, you ran a city, New Orleans, Mr. Morrell. You'd think that the money that cities have to pay victims would incentivize more reform.
This is an outrage, and this is what I call one of the hidden costs of police misconduct, that cities pay out millions and millions of dollars in civil judgments. The public knows nothing about it. Many times it's hidden behind confidentiality agreements, attorney-client privilege. It's not discussed. You know, I inherited, when I took over as mayor, a number of very, very large lawsuits, and you know, it stretched our ability to execute police reform. And in some instances, I believe Cleveland is one. They've actually issued tax-exempt bonds. They're paying interest and fees into which they borrowed money to pay off judgments that were as a result of the consent decree that they were under.
Essentially, you're talking about police misconduct bonds. In other words, we need to borrow from people to be able to pay this stuff, and they route that through Wall Street. Yeah, I was reading about some of that.
And they pay fees and they pay interest. And, you know, it's not like we borrowed money to build a new community center, or borrowed money to build a new library, or borrowed money to improve a school. You have cities out there borrowing money to pay off judgments because of brutal and corrupt police officers. And look, this has got to stop. This we should have as a goal a nation of constitutional policing. One of the things that really struck me about the George Floyd case is that you had 4 officers seeking to apprehend a man for a, quote, violation involving $20. What kind of use of resources is it for 4 men who are probably, whatever their salaries are, but they're certainly paid, more than $20 an hour, 4 men to spend all of that time trying to apprehend and, if you will, ultimately taking this man's life, throwing him on the ground, and handcuffing him. For what? For what? A $20 bill? Allegedly a $20 bill? So policing, reform of policing is deep. It also means how you deploy your resources, where you put your focus. I want to see police departments put their focus on violent crime, put their focus on drug dealers and drug pushers, put their focus on things that really, really make a community unsafe, and not spend so much time harassing people for petty things, arresting people for petty things, and by doing so, creating friction in the community and making the whole notion of police-community relations just an illusion.
And just a quick follow-up on your previous point about transparency in some of these payouts. So part of your point is if the public were more aware of what these settlements are, then perhaps there would be an even greater push just because of the money to let's reform the system that leads to these payouts.
Greater pressure on the officers who commit these sort of offenses. I mean, you know, if an officer is costing you that kind of money, maybe they shouldn't be a police officer. They're costing you more than their value to the department. I mean, we have got to put our foot down as Americans and say we want effective law enforcement. We want law enforcement that is, yes, strong, but we want law enforcement that is respectful. But we also need to disavow ourselves of the notion that policing alone can make a community safe. It's about quality of life. It's about jobs. It's about quality education. It's about positive outlets for young men and young women, for teenage boys and girls, for elementary school boys and girls to have things in the community that they can participate in that will not cost their parents excessive amounts of money, which their parents do not have. If a child in a middle-class neighborhood wants to take dance lessons, they pay for it. Little League Baseball, they pay for it. If you will, swimming classes, they pay for it. Art classes, they pay for it. These types of things which really build the talent, the character, and help young people pursue their aspirations and dreams should be where that public money should be spent, not paying off judgments for police misconduct.
Mark Morial is the president of the National Urban League. He's the former mayor of New Orleans. Mr. Morial, thank you for this.
Thank you for having me today.
Now, okay.
From Marketplace, I'm David Brancaccio. By one count, there have been protests in nearly 150 cities nationwide amid calls for justice in the killing by police of George Floyd.
Now, with that being said, let's go look at all of the monies. I want to get to all the monies that was paid out to different cities, if I can just show y'all. New York City, I think, was like $300-something million in payout. And I was like, that sounds about right, because, you know, it's crazy here. People think everything, New York City, I want to go, but everybody's sitting up there worrying about being stuck up by a regular stick-up kid. Worry about these cops that are shooting y'all kids left and right, though. Let's worry about that, because that's what it seems like. That's the problem. New York City, by far the most in 2017, it paid a record number of $302 million. And $2 million in police misconduct lawsuits. That's ridiculous. In just 8 weeks, City of Chicago, 2018, paid out $20 million in police misconduct. It's crazy. It makes no sense to me. Why? Where's all this money coming from? That's what I want to know. Deep down inside, that's my real question. Where's all this money coming from? That's my phone going all the way off. But anyway, it baffles my brain, all the money that we pay out, but yet we don't have the proper parks for our kids to go play in. We don't have no YMCAs. We don't have no after-school programs in some of these cities. We don't have proper daycare in some of these cities. It baffles my mind how these kids can't even go sign up for a summer job. I remember back in the day, summer jobs, they used to hand those out left and right as long as you got your worker papers to go work a summer job now. So my thing is, the next mayor and the next president got to clean up all of what's going on around them. My thing is, though, how are we supposed to make a change when y'all are making up new laws for certain people to be protected under? How does that work? How does that work? We need to stop making new laws and start cleaning up the mess that we have in front of us. Don't worry about what's going on to the left of you. Worry about what's going on right in front of your very eyes today. And the very thing that's going on in front of our eyes today is the cops killing minorities. Right? And if they are killing minorities, why do they get off? Why do they get to get off and go home free to their families and stuff? I never understood that, because y'all like to say black on black crime and all of that stuff. But when black on black crime happens, y'all go and find a black person and y'all go arrest them for the crime, right? So why is it that when the cops commit a crime, they don't get arrested? When the cops kill somebody, they don't get locked up. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. How is it that we're supposed to go by this justice system, but the justice system only covers a certain demographic of people? How does that work? We as people, us people, need to figure out our demands and what we really are going up against, and really do our research in our communities. I lived in my community all my life. All my life. I remember when my community was the most dangerous. Things happened. Things got cleaned up. But now you still have a little mischief with some kids, because kids are going to be kids. But it's not as bad as it was. So we have to use certain cases as a learning tool. Look what we did for George Floyd, and look what we're doing for the Breonna. We walking around, I said this a couple of videos ago. We walking around, we tired, and we protesting, we out there, we the people, we out there. But why are we not sitting? Go get your summertime chair that y'all pulled up at all the barbecues at. Y'all pulled up at all the summertime barbecues. Summertime is over. How about going to get that same chair, go get you a coat, go pack you up a meal, and go sit in front of the house of the cops that killed Breonna like y'all did for George Floyd? How about packing up that same meal and that same chair and that same coat and going to sit in front of the fucking precinct of the cops that killed Breonna Taylor? Because those are the things I think made a difference. Shit. And I'm not trying to say do it, but didn't y'all burn a whole precinct down over there? Right? Somebody burnt the precinct down. Somebody was blowing up cop cars. Until they feel our pain. Until they can teach their kids what happened to their mothers and fathers. Because they're not even happening to their ancestors. Their ancestors will be their grandmothers, their great-grandmothers, and their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmothers. So right now, it's not going to happen to their grandparents. Oh, it could happen to some of their grandparents and their mothers and their fathers. Until they feel our pain, until they are able to sit their kid down and say, well, granddad got shot in the line of duty because Because why is it that we get to tell our kids, well, daddy died because the hands of cops shot him. And why we got to tell our kids that? Why they never are able, and you know what's funny? When they do tell their kids and their grandkids stories about the heroes in their family, they label them heroes. Grandpa went down as a hero. Start putting in their history books. We got to start building up their history books. And I'm not trying to say I'll go out and hurt anybody. But at this point, they are. What is it going to take for them to stop doing what they're doing? People say, oh, hit them in the pocket. Okay. How are we going to hit them in the pocket? Oh, defund the cops. Like I said, fire the motherfuckers. They shouldn't get a pension or nothing else. They shouldn't be sitting at a desk at work, getting paid and feeding their families. Why is it that they get to go chase the cash bag? Meanwhile, our people are put in body bags at the hands of them. Why we get to follow behind a coffin going down the street to the cemetery, and they get to ride around in their cop cars to catch another victim? How does that work? How? Where's the justice at? Because throwing money at a situation, that's this hush money. Because better believe that came with a clause for them to shut the fuck up. That came with a clause for them to shut up and not say certain things. They don't want to hear about this no more. You know that, right? And we so silly. Because other things will be going on, and then we'll forget what happened yesterday because something else new is going on today. It's called short-term memory. And it makes no sense. Because the only reason why we keep reliving certain things is because when it happens again, then it's like, damn, another one. Add that one to the list. No. Let's start adding the cops that we fired and put in jail. Let's start adding them to the list. Because at some point, they're going to push us to the point where it's going to be an eye for an eye, and cops is going to start showing up in parks and shit, and they're going to be dismantled out that bitch. Then what? Then what? Because that's the only way they're going to feel our pain. That's the only way it's going to hit home for them. And the bad part about it is, all cops are not guilty of taking an unarmed man's life or whatever. All cops are not guilty of that. And the bad part about it is, there are good cops in that bunch. But if you keep leaving the rotten cops there, all we're going to do is keep catching bodies on our behalf, and it makes no sense. Things have to change. When you don't see something's working that way, let's do it this way then. Because it's not working. Because the same people that are watching you march will be the same person that'll shoot you in the street the next day. Y'all are marching and the cops are standing there watching y'all march and whispering about the shit. They are getting paid extra overtime to watch y'all march the streets. They getting paid overtime to watch y'all march the streets. In any streets in America, they are getting paid to do that. That's overtime for them. So they getting paid extra. And they not being fired. And they not going to jail. And they get to kill us. And be free. But meanwhile, these families are at home mourning the loss of a loved one that did not do nothing. George Floyd, a fucking $20 bill, B? I bet you today that $20 bill is not in evidence. I bet you today. And if it is an evidence, they don't replace it with a fake bill for they can, so by the time everybody trials come up, it'll be a fake 20 in the evidence, y'all. $20. 20 fucking dollars. They never even said if it was counterfeit or not. Do anybody know if the $20 bill was fake or not in the George Floyd case? You know why we don't know? Because the $20 bill in the whole case is the smallest part of the whole fucking case. It's so fucking small that the $20 bill in George Floyd's case don't even fucking matter if it was fake or real. If it was fake or real, it does not justify taking that man's life. His life is not worth $20, fake or real. It's not worth his life. So I don't know what's going to happen to that case. But better believe, when the case date do come up, it's definitely going to be after the election. That's a big fact. It's a big fact. You think them cops is not celebrating a win in that precinct? Because they think they don't win the championship. Those cops is going to go right back to work. They going to go right back to their normal fucking lives. Meanwhile, baby girl family is over there. They may be rich, but their heart is in shambles at the hands of a cop that didn't even, because even if they said police, even if they announced themselves, let's just say they did announce themselves, let's just say the whole fucking block heard them announce themselves, let's just say everybody came out their house and heard them announcing themselves and saying that they was cops when they knocked on that girl's door. What weapon did they see through the door that justified them for shooting that girl? They went there for one thing and did something totally different. Then they at the wrong fucking house in itself. Because the people that they was looking for was already in custody. That's another thing I'm not understanding. It's a whole computer system. So when they was typing up those warrants and all that, y'all trying to tell me that they didn't know that those people was in jail already, in custody already? Because I would like to know how long was they in custody before they went to go knock on Breonna's door. I want to know how long did the other people that they was originally looking for in Breonna's house, I want to know how long they was in custody for. Because that counts. Because remember, paperwork, the justice system, everything going through a computer, it takes time. So this is why I'm trying to say, I want to know how long was those men in custody before they went and knocked on that door, before those papers were drawn up. How long was those men in custody when those papers got printed out to go make that warrant? I want to know. Because if they was in there for a whole day and then the warrant got printed up, then they were in the system. Because I know here in New York City, it only take a couple of hours to hit the system. Like, if somebody was to get locked up and we call down to the holding cell, we call whatever precinct they got locked up in, they either going to say their paperwork is not here or they go into court in the morning. Period. But I'm not understanding. So I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it at all. I'm just not getting it. And it's fucked up. And we need to do things different. We need to start getting life insurance on on ourselves. So this way when shit hit the fan, we not worried about no motherfucking payout. Stop taking the fucking payouts from these cops and this fucking justice system. This justice system, they are trying to buy you with the blood money. They are buying you with blood money. Basically, they have a stash just for shit like this. They have the cops around the world, to me, have a stash that we know nothing about where this money is funneled through. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I would love to see the check that they gave them and how it was signed and what's on the heading. Department of what? I would love to know, because I want to know where all this money is coming from, being that the Dow is down and the stock is low and when the economy is fucked up, and I just want to know where all this money is coming from. If our economy is low, we can't afford the medical supplies 1 minute. 1 minute they said we couldn't afford medical supplies during the pandemic. None of the hospitals, they didn't know what to do. Respirators, they had to go find shit for it. All of a sudden, they would stop fucking with cars and stop making cars. And then all of a sudden, they got a commercial making masks and shit. I just want to know, where is the money coming from? Where? I want to see a check where it says, this is paid to ... I want to see it. It wasn't like they came in and gave Breonna family $12 million in cash and said, here, take that. The crazy thing is, here's the crazy thing. Let's follow the money. We don't know what it says on the check, right? But yet, when they give you a check for that amount of money, you got to pay taxes on that bitch. So at least they're not getting all that money in one shot, in a lump sum. They're not getting all of that money without paying a certain amount of taxes. So let's just say, okay, they gave them $12 million. At least $2 million is coming out in taxes. They're not getting all of that money. So the number sounds nice and round. But when everything started hitting, it's different. Again, I would love to see what's on the top of these checks when they print them out. In any city. I want to see where the money is coming from. Because our kids don't have nothing that they need in their communities so they can grow up and be a happy kid and be great at what they supposed to be doing in these inner cities. I'm not understanding. But when you go in these small towns, in certain cities, like the man said, all types of piano lessons, basketball camps, and baseball camps, and football camps, and all types of camps, and ballet lessons, and piano lessons, and all types of lessons is being taught in those cities. So, is our cities too good enough to get those? So, nobody black plays the piano? Shit. Alicia Keys, Ray Charles. I just want to name a few. So, what are you saying about the inner city black kid? That they not smart enough to play the piano? But yeah, but wait. When they get to what? High school and junior high school? Oh, they can go kick a ball. Better believe that. They can go dribble a ball and throw 3-point shots every day in the fucking hoop all day. And let's raise them up to run and play sports and be gawked by the media and be put on TV. Run. But don't dare say nothing about police brutality. Colin, you better not take a knee for what's going on in America. You better not take a kneecap. You better not. You better fucking not take a knee. Cap was ahead of his motherfucking time. Cap been ahead of his time. He's seen it for what it was. And it's funny how he took a knee for police brutality, and Yadel president went over there and started talking shit with other people, and they flipped his whole narrative and made it about the flag. Cap kneeling was never about the fucking flag. And it's funny because if you look at football today, they're kneeling. They're kneeling. Why Cap don't have his fucking job? Oh, my bad. Oh shit. It's a movement. We can kneel now. Type of fucking shit. Crazy thing is, he was kneeling to stop what's going on right now. You know how you do something to prevent other things from happening? Okay, this has been going on. I'm going to take a knee for police brutality so we can stop this bullshit. Oh, no, Cap. You kneeling too... Get up, get out, you're fired. That's how that went. Oh, you can kneel now because there's a Black Power movement going on and everybody wants to be fucking black all of a sudden. It's cool to be black until you in these motherfucking inner cities and the cops feel like they want to murder you today. It's cool then. It's cool to be black up until that point, right? It's cool to be black until a body is found in a tree, right? Like I said, I see everything changing, but the right shit. Everybody want to sit up there and put a black person on a white show all of a sudden. Nah, fuck that. Everybody want to fucking sit up there and worry about Aunt Shemama and fucking Uncle Ben. Nah, nigga, fuck that. Let's worry about these cops and getting them fucking fired. Because that's the real fucking fact. We ain't giving a fuck about Aunt Shemama. I just used that bitch this morning. She ain't shoot up my fucking pancakes. That bitch ain't shot not near none of my pancakes. Why the fuck is we worried about Aunt Shemama? Oh, because she's a black stereotype? Oh. Well, leave her the fuck alone and get right back to the bullshit. Let's get back to how we gonna fucking defund the police. Let's get back to us fucking handling our business as far as electing the right people in these inner cities. There's a such thing called the primaries and all that. Elections that go on for the state senates and all this crazy shit. Pay attention who y'all elect in these offices. All of them don't mean good. And I noticed a lot this year when I went out to vote early and all that for the senators. A lot of black and brown faces was on the ballot. All of a sudden. I remember we couldn't get in those positions. Now we got everybody in those positions. But everybody don't mean well. And just because we got a fight going on, and just because you fucking black, that don't mean you deserve the fucking job because you're fucking black. Just because you're fucking black, that don't mean you mean well. So I'm not just saying just give the job to any old black face. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That don't go. That's a no-go. We're not doing that neither. We have to give the right positions to the right fucking people. That's what we have to start doing. It all starts with us first. All that, don't vote, don't do this, don't do that. I'm not going to tell you to not vote because that's what Trump wants. Trump wants you to not vote for Joe. Crazy thing is, I'd rather vote for Joe. I don't give a fuck what he forgot. I don't give a fuck if the nigga got Alzheimer's. Okay. Okay, so if he got Alzheimer's, now what? What the fuck he got a vice president for? Does that bitch got Alzheimer's? I just want to know. Are both of them going to get sick at the same time? I think not. So if something happened to fucking Joe, she right there. Y'all bet not let nothing happen to Joe, and she right there with her half black ass. Cause let me tell you something, y'all don't want that. Y'all don't even want a woman to be president, aka Hillary. And I'm not trying to say Hillary was right for the fucking job. I'm just saying y'all don't want no fucking female president, and not no half black ass bitch. So y'all better prop Joe the fuck up. Y'all they better prop that nigga the fuck up and get him some V8 in this bitch. Give that nigga a Southern meal or something. Some substance. Some fried chicken with some sazon on it or something. Prop that nigga up to the podium or something. Because y'all don't want no half black ass bitch running the country. But I'm not going to sit up here and tell y'all to not vote for Joe. Because that's what Trump wants. Trump wants you to not vote for Joe. He wants y'all to say, oh, Joe's half dead. Oh, Joe, he's elderly. Nigga, you got a whole fucking lace fucking front on your head that been there for a decade. And what the fuck is you trying to say, nigga? Is the glue seeping into your fucking scalp, nigga? At least Joe been in the motherfucking office. Let's just be motherfucking clear. Joe was in the fucking office for 8 motherfucking years, and I don't give a fuck who the fuck he stood behind. He was in that bitch, so he know how that shit run. Meanwhile, y'all got Celebrity Apprentice up there that's talking shit, don't know what the fuck he talking about, but and yet he don't got Alzheimer's, so what the fuck is his problem? He don't know half the shit he talking about, but and yet y'all worrying about Joe forgetting some shit? Y'all need to worry about Trump not knowing nothing. See, it's a difference when you knew something and you forgot it to when you don't know it and still don't fucking know it when you get to the podium. It's a difference. He forgot. He never knew. It's a difference. So yes, go rock that vote. Put the first woman in office. I don't give a fuck if she vice president or president. Let's fucking work, B. Let's work. November in New York City, November the 3rd, we rocks the vote. I don't give a fuck if it's a blizzard out this bitch. I'm rocking that vote. I don't give a fuck if the whole motherfucking state is on fire. I'ma rock that motherfucking vote. Because let me tell you something. They'll dangle something else in front of you now that the whole Breonna case is over with and, you know, they don't get no justice. Watch something else that's going to keep coming up and keep coming up and keep coming up all the way up until November the 3rd. All the way up until it's time for election time. Watch how many other things is going to pop fucking up before we go to the voting polls. Just watch. Just watch. So if you don't have your voting ballot and you need one and you feel like some shit gonna go on at your voting area, wherever the fuck you go vote at, go get that voting ballot and mail that bitch off before the month of October set in or whatever, because they're gonna try to get you to make your vote not count. They're gonna try it. They are going to try it. Bet to believe it. Then we passed all the, oh, these polls don't work. We passed that. He don't put his own person in there to handle the whole postal system. You see how crooked these motherfuckers is? Meanwhile, I don't even think homeboy that handles the whole postal service thing, I don't even think he's ever been a mailman, ever worked in a mail office a day in his motherfucking life. But all of a sudden, Donald Trump appoints him to be the postal master and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Listen. Rock the fucking vote. I will definitely be out there. I don't even think I'm going to work that motherfucking day. Because I want to make sure I'm there in the morning to do what the fuck I need to do. Because you're not going to tell me what's going on in my inner city. And you don't fucking live there. You don't breathe there. You don't walk there. You don't talk there. You don't shop there. You don't need to fucking be there. And you can't tell me what the fuck is going on in my neighborhood, baby. It's no way in the world. I don't have to fucking go outside to know what's going on and what's not going on. Get to know your fucking community, B. If you don't know your community, get to know your community. Say hi to your neighbor. Hey, how you doing? You going to vote today? Let's vote together. Like, hold hands and skip down the block and go vote together. Like, because we need that. We need to stop worrying about the handouts I keep hearing about this reparations and I want reparations. Nigga, the funny part about it is the people that are asking for reparations is my age. What the fuck did you do? Nigga, you was born in the 70s. You wasn't born in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s. Why the fuck you think you need reparations? Why the fuck do you think you need reparations? Why the fuck is that word even coming out your mouth? How about you rep a job and save up some money and get some fucking life insurance and take care of your motherfucking family? That's about all the reparations you need if you was not born in the 50s, 40s, and 30s, nigga. You shouldn't even have that word coming out your mouth so motherfucking correctly, nigga. Go sit your fucking ass down. Now, if you go get your great-great-grandmother, she need her reparations. But if you born in the 70s and you hollering about a reparation, go sit your lazy ass down. Because real motherfuckers is born in the 70s, baby. We don't need no motherfucking handouts. We good. And I'm a representative of the motherfucking 70s. I was born in 79. I don't need no motherfucking reparations. I get the fuck up 10 toes down every day, all day, and go out and work and grind and hustle to get mine. I don't shoot, sell drugs, none of that shit. So start doing for your fucking self. And stop sitting up here hollering reparations. If they wanted to give you that motherfucking money, they would have fucking gave it to you. And as far as I'm fucking concerned, they are handing out the fucking reparations. Breonna's fucking death was a whole reparation. That fucking money, what the fuck y'all thought that was? What the fuck y'all think that is? If that ain't a reparation, I don't know what the fuck y'all looking for. I don't get it. I don't get it. The family members that they are killing are getting the reparations. Y'all not getting that. I don't know why y'all not getting that. I don't understand how y'all don't see it. I don't get it. I don't have to watch the fucking news channel. I don't have to watch the history fucking channel. I don't have to fucking Google it to know that the reparations are being handed out. Y'all just not fucking seeing it. And free money ain't good money. Because better believe that stimulus shit fitting to come out y'all taxes one way or fucking another. Y'all better believe that shit. That shit get ready to come out somewhere, from some fucking body. There is no free fucking money. Even when you hit the fucking lotto, they go through your whole fucking history to see who the fuck you owe before they give you the fucking money that you don't scratched off or pick the number for. How the fuck that work? How that work? And if we're so fucking broke, how? I'm about to get into some other shit. Let me get a sip of water, this good $5 water. Because I'm not... Y'all not getting it. We in the motherfucking dark room. If you didn't know and you new here, please like, share, and subscribe because I'm pissed the fuck off because I'm not understanding how y'all not understanding what the fuck going on in the world. I'm just not getting it. They are giving you the reparations, sweetie. They're giving it to you. They just not calling it reparations. They calling it a settlement. And it come with a gag order for you to shut the fuck up and don't say nothing. Think about it. Think about all the family members that the cops killed. And think about who got the payouts and who's talking and who's not talking. Think about it. Think about it now. A lot of them, once they get those payouts, those families don't be having shit to say. They don't be having shit to say, I said. Let me just say it one more time if you didn't know. They don't be having shit to fucking say. They be quiet as a motherfucking church mouse with all that fucking money. And they look at they fucking TV screens and see the shit is still happening in fucking America. And they be fucking pissed, but they be rich as fuck because that's fucking blood money, a.k.a. your fucking reparations. They not fitting to give you fucking nothing. They not fitting to give you shit. So stop asking for fucking reparations. No, fuck that. Stop asking for money, period. Stop taking the fucking settlements. As a matter of fact, when you go to your fucking lawyer, if your lawyer's a real G, you should be able to tell your fucking lawyer, listen, we are looking to get these people behind bars first. And then we talk about money on the back end once we get them behind bars for a certain number of years. Because if they not put behind bars, then where's the justice? Because giving the family money, that's not where the justice is at. That's not where we at with it. You understand what I'm saying? So if you understand my anger and you understand why I'm so upset, they gave them money 2 weeks, and then on the other hand, these motherfuckers get to walk free. So they bargaining with our lives. They don't give a fuck about us. Michael Jackson then told y'all they don't give a fuck about us. He sung it in a song. He had a video, mini movie to go with the motherfucking shit. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. Yeah, it does, Mike. Yeah, it does. It matters. In these cases, with this injustice going on in the world, it does matter. We seen it matter when a couple of months ago when the kid shot those people. The kid with the AK, he shot those people and walked the streets freely. It makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. Baffles my motherfucking mind. You can walk inside of a church as a white man and kill 9 black people and get taken to like McDonald's and get fed water and shit. But if a black man was to walk into a white church and do some shit like that, his head is going to get shot the fuck off soon. He ain't even got to leave the church. They going to infiltrate the motherfucking church and they going to come in there and shoot his ass. That's his funeral right there. It baffles my mind. It baffles my mind. You can go as a white person, you can go and shoot up a whole school and they can have all these, Tommy was mentally ill. He was mentally ill. Right. A black man do some dumb shit like that. And it's off with his fucking head. You see? Where's the justice at? Why is it that a black person and a white person can commit the same crime, but the black person will end up dead, and the white person will sit in jail happy with a happy meal? How does that, how does it work? How is that injustice? Until these injustices stop, then we have work to do as the people in these communities. You have to sit your kids down. You have to talk to your family members that live in these households with you. Don't go out there doing X, Y, and Z because they find any reason to say, oh, that's black on black crime. Gang members, sit your asses down. This moment is not for you unless you out there with Black Lives Matter saying no justice, no peace. Sit your fucking asses down. If you out there with that gang on gang violence, shooting each other and shit, this is not the time for your black ass to be outside. Sit your fucking ass down in the fucking in the fucking clubhouse some fucking where for gang members and just watch the movement on TV. Cause this ain't your fucking time. Okay? We trying to clean up the streets and y'all out there shooting each other. We need y'all to sit y'all monkey asses the fuck down. And that's word on word. We need y'all to sit the fuck down. I can't take it. Something has to stop for something to give. You understand what I'm saying? So, Until we get justice, until cops start being fired and put in jail, until we start receiving jail time, there's nothing for us to fucking talk about. You don't get to bargain with our fucking lives any fucking more. That's what we need to go to the fucking table with. Until they go to jail, they don't get to bargain with our lives no more. They don't get to tell us, oh, well, we shot such and such because we was justified. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what else to say until things start getting a little bit better. I don't know. I just find it, everything is not a coinky dink. We got a fucked up president. We got a fucked up justice system. We got the fucking COVID out there. These kids can't go to fucking school. Half of America can't go to fucking work. And yet, the economy is tanking. But we can find $12 million to give to Breonna's family because the cops did her wrong. I don't get it. It doesn't fit. Wrong puzzle pieces. It doesn't go. It doesn't gel. The story doesn't come together. It's horrible. So I need to know how y'all feel in the comments. Because I don't even want to talk about this no more. Because the more and more I talk about it, the more and more I find ways where I know is this a lot of bullshit. And it's just bullshit. But I need for y'all to keep your heads up. I need for y'all to pray every night for every family member in your household. I need for you to sit down and have a talk with your family members in your household. Because this is getting out of hand. It's too much. Tell me what you think about it in the comments, YouTube. I'm on the road to 1,000, so I need 1,000 subs before I can get monetized, before I can really get this shit popping, because I don't even know. If I start getting monetized, they might start cutting my lives and shit, because my mouth crazy. But my name is Eve the Weed. Please like, share, and subscribe. I gotta go, YouTube. I'm sorry, Breonna, that you did not get no justice today. May your soul please rest in peace, baby girl. I gotta go, YouTube. Bye.